Stress is killing us, but the very thought of it is just disabling us from letting go. You worry about something that is so detrimental for your life, and then you worry that worrying will be detrimental for your life. Messed up cycle, man. I've tried meditating, breathing exercises, cold showering, sleeping, eating healthy, exercising, and all of these somehow helped. But I would still end up in stressful scenarios every single day. I would catch myself biting my nails, feeling hot, and getting stuck in a loop of thought without being able to get out of it. I would try breathing deep, but it wouldn't help. I can't say that methods I've talked about don't work at all, but they don't fully take care of stress. You will always get into stressful situations and think you'll never win this battle. And you never will, unless you listen to what I have to say. I'm not gonna tell you to breathe, I'm not gonna tell you to sleep well. All these things go without saying. But with that being said, let me tell you the key components that if you follow, you'll finally break down stress and be able to fully eliminate it from your life. And if you don't change that, you'll always be thinking about the future and feeling anxious. And don't worry, these are all connected to one main idea, so you won't be needing to stress if you'll be able to follow everything, because that's not the point. You may have heard this dozens of times, but let me get this deep into your head because it never touched your brain. The thing that stresses you right now, will that be important in 1 year, 10 years, 100 years? If not, there shouldn't be anything to worry about. The key is, you'll never be able to fully stop worrying unless you become brain dead. So there will always be something that stresses you out. But let's choose the stuff that it's necessary to worry about and that we will kill our nerves for. Otherwise, 90% of things you're worrying about is just irrelevant. Will that expensive shirt fit you well? What should I get today from Uber Eats? I'm stressing if I should choose a hamburger or pizza. What movie should I watch when I hang out with my friends in the evening? I'm sure this sounds very funny to you, but I'm 100% certain most of the stuff you're worrying about is just stupid shit like this. Completely irrelevant. It doesn't have to be a perfect movie. It doesn't have to be that perfect food, because this day will pass and tomorrow you'll eat the next food. So it's not important what particular food you eat now. If clothes don't fit you, you're gonna make the money back. If a girl wasn't interested in you, you'll find a new one. None of these things matter because that is inevitable for all of us. And would you rather have a vibrant life, making lots of mistakes and then remembering them and laughing and thinking your life was really diverse? Or would you like to have one straight, boring path, righteous path? You've done everything right, but it's all the same. Whether you were perfect or not will not matter on your deathbed. This mindset shift of irrelevancy, that 80% of this stuff is not worth it, then why would I stress about it? Live life now, because if nothing is that important, you can't mess this up that badly, can you? Rarely anything in life is that important, so you should focus your full attention and worry about the outcome that much. But for stuff that it's actually important, like a job you do to survive, these are real things and we must worry about them if we are not complete degenerates. Our job, for example, we must work to survive. Going to work stresses us each time. Going there, having to be there with people you don't like, with people that judge you, and you'll have to accept that criticism and complain. But let's go deeper. What particularly stresses you about these things? Is it that you'll be awkward talking to other people? Is it that you'll make a grave mistake that will destroy the whole company? None of these things can actually hurt your mind unless you choose that these imaginary scenarios can hurt your mind. They didn't happen, chill out. Fear is stress. Means that if you fear a situation, you'll be stressing yourself about an even slight possibility that it could happen. And what could happen will happen. In other words, if you show your mind that what you're stressing about is not that scary and that you're not scared of it, the stress completely evaporates. The situations you dodge, but you're not scared that are gonna happen, that's exactly what you do. Try forcing yourself through the fear of what could happen and do that thing that could happen. And then you'll show yourself that it's not that scary and now you're free. Let me tell you what happened when I was working in a restaurant as a food runner. This was my first job ever, and I was so scared that the customers would criticize me for the food I've gotten them, that I would slip and my food will fall. There were also a few times when they asked me to bring them some sauce, and because I was new, I didn't know about all these different sauces that exist there. So I would be bringing them one by one, by mistake, and they would just start getting angry. I could see in their face. These things make me fear going to work. I didn't like it. For the whole 7 hours I was there, I was constantly full of anxiety, just wanting to get the least work possible and avoid people at all costs. But one day I was especially confident, and maybe it was because of good sleep or something else, not important. I just wanted to work with full confidence, not giving a damn if something bad would happen. I didn't care. Of course, that day was the most enjoyable day at work I've had until then. That's because I was not afraid to make a mistake and be yelled at. What if the boss yells at me? What if the customer yells at me? I'm just gonna apologize and continue doing the work. And in that instant, that fear disappeared, and I could just move on with my life without that one particular stress. It's only after we've lost everything that we're free to do anything. Realize that your life wouldn't be that bad if you lost some of the things you have in it. But they're only as horrible as you think because you put that much value onto them into your mind, and now your life depends so much on these things, whether materialistic or figurative. This is where the practical stuff kicks in. Your subconscious mind dictates most of how you experience your life. If you had a bad experience with something a few times in the past, your body and mind will just start contracting and feeling so anxious in the presence of that thing. And you'll also be stressed and anxious, not just when you're encountering it, but when you're thinking about the possibility of encountering it. Let's say some dogs bit you 2 or 3 times in your life before. You're gonna be anxious every time you encounter a dog, and every time you're outside, you'll be looking out for dogs and trying to avoid them. Oh my god, there's it. Without realizing, I guarantee you have at least a few of these that stresses you out every single day, and experiencing more situations. You start stressing about the environment that has once hurt you. There is no easy exit here, except if you force yourself through that fear, build new, fresh experiences that will take place over the old ones because they're newer. The stress disappears. You'll have to do it by force. If you're scared that sleeping late and sleeping less than usual is going to kill you and have detrimental effects on your sleep, and that's basically what insomniacs do, that's why they can't sleep properly, because they're scared they'll miss out on sleep. Conscious effort to sleep just pushes them not being able to sleep. Then you'll have to just say fuck it and stay up later, go to bed at 2 a.m, sleep less, and that's just gonna push a lot of pressure off you. It won't kill you once. At least you went through life without fear. It may be better to live life 60 years fearlessly, just doing everything, not being scared of anything, having no stress in your mind, than living 80 years but constantly feeling scared of your well-being. Will that hamburger kill me tomorrow? Will this sleep completely obliterate me? Obviously, I'm the one that stands for health, so I think you should live healthy, of course, but if that stresses you out, that negative stress will counter the healthy lifestyle you have, so it won't even matter. If you're stressing about the healthy lifestyle, then you're not healthy, no matter how good you eat. You need to reprogram your brain by pulling the old weeds that are toxic that you have and replacing them with new healthy plants that are pushing a more positive mindset onto you and that will make your life more enjoyable. Once you replace all the toxic weeds and now you have no fears, that's when you start to live. Best philosophy in life is chase the fear, because only that will set you free. This has by far helped me the most. When I first started focusing on my productivity and how productive my days were, I always tried to put as many things as possible in my day, so it's just filled with everything. It's just really productive. I played the piano, I went to the gym, I did my business stuff, I read 100 pages of a book. My day was really filled, basically autistically hour by hour. That may be good for productivity and your money success, but your mental health will pay for it. You basically worry too much if you use your day the most optimally, and if you could have done the more work, and most importantly, if you did enough for the day. And inevitably, you'll always mess up someday. That brings your whole mood down and you start being unpleasant to people around you that are wasting your time. That puts you into another loop because you now know you should be pleasant to them and you're not, and that stresses you even more. My advice is minimize everything. Essentialism. Do the least number of things possible. Least amount of clothes, least amount of work. What is the least amount of work you can do today that will still move you towards your goal and be beneficial? You'll basically have double the time to do everything, and now the time is on your side. It's more pleasurable and actually achievable to be consistent every single day. You won't be rushing to do anything. You'll be able to take breaks, you'll be able to take walks, go to the sun, because that's really important. And also, don't make your whole mood depend on the final product. Actually, it's much better to enjoy the process and just be grateful for you enjoying the process, because not every day is gonna have a great product. So conclusion is, stress is very rarely about the stuff you do, but actually if you're prone to thinking a lot, you'll have troubles letting go of some things, and you'll want to specifically influence every single part of your life, and that turns you to madness. It's important to be mindful enough to recognize what is actually worth worrying about and what is just unnecessary bullshit. Like holding a small talk with stranger at Trader Joe's. This stuff is just completely irrelevant, and no matter how it goes, your life will go on, and tomorrow you won't even remember that it happened. You can meditate in order to better recognize what's happening in your brain and what stuff you're actually caring about. Or even better, you can just eliminate a lot of the stuff you do and then just leave a lot more time for you to mindfully do some tasks, obviously relax a lot and rest, and that is what's going to make you stress less. You have a lot of time to do everything. This video was purely mindset based because we could have talked about medications, about Adderall, marijuana, and all of these work, but do you want to be dependent on them in order to live life? I'm always for a behavioral thing first before going on to harder prescriptions. And I haven't lied about a single thing today. This is just how things are, but you were programmed since you were very young by the adults to take some stuff more serious than they actually are. Because most likely, if you're the one who stresses a lot, your parents also stress a lot. You picked it up for them. But you know actually that there are people who don't actually care. And you're always wondering like, how do they do it? Are they just brain dead and everything? Some of them maybe, but some of them actually have what I've talked about here in their minds. You must realize that this philosophy will take some time to click. Even for me, it hasn't clicked fully because I've recently stumbled upon it. So I'm still battling with stress, I'm sometimes stressed, but that's normal. I've definitely improved my life a lot and made it more enjoyable. Most important work is still done. I can still work Uber a few times a week, I can still learn about health, and I can still film these videos. There's time for everything, and I'm not stressed about it.